I am the science coordinator here at the University of Southern California's Viterbi School of Engineering. And what I do here is teach teachers how to get elementary, middle, and high school students to have an interest in the STEAM field: science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. I graduated from the University of Southern California with degrees in biomedical engineering, electrical engineering, and math. And I started working as an electrical engineer for a Hughes Aircraft Company. I also work for the Los Angeles Unified School District. And for the district, I am a coordinator for an alternative high school. We serve students who are in need of another opportunity for quality education. At our school, we design a curriculum which allows students to get back on track and to pursue their dreams for their education and their possible careers. I often say to myself as I'm walking from place to place, I love what I do for a living. And the reason is I get to help kids reach their potential, whether it's here at USC or for the district. Finding out what drives a young person and finding out what their passion is, and then exposing them to new areas and helping them see how what they want to do relates to fields such as engineering or such as math is what excites me, because kids who didn't know that they had a particular aptitude often find out they can be successful in those fields, and they start to want to strive in those areas. Get rid of all the silly postings on Facebook. That is first and foremost, because if you're representing yourself as this awesome person who needs an opportunity and you have silly things on your Facebook that portray you in a different light, that is something that will get in the way of you having a possible future at an Intel or an Oracle or Firefox. The solution to many of our world problems are going to come from young people looking at the world around them and coming up with all sorts of great ideas.
Great, so my name is Annelène Decaux, and I grew up in France, where I studied engineering, math and physics and chemistry and engineering. And after that, I decided to come to the United States, and I did more higher education at MIT. And then I started working as an engineer and in business here in America. At around age 30, I did a complete career change, and I became a life and executive coach, helping people as opposed to making things. I grew up in France, and there is a huge emphasis on engineering and math. Almost like we see it as the highest things we can study. And I think the premise is that as we study math and science, it forms our brains. It trains our brains to think and to reflect and to be analytical. And what we used to be told, but it has proven true for me, what we used to be told back in France where I grew up, is that if we study engineering, then we can do whatever we want in life. Basically, all the doors will be open for us. Big credit goes to my education in math and engineering and science, where I was taught how to think, how to learn, how to adapt, how to be open-minded, how to contemplate ideas. My academic story is more a story of success. But there was an episode where I was in France and I didn't get into the best school. I got into like the second best school. And it would have felt like failure to a lot of people. But I remember that to me it didn't feel like failure. First there was a sense of, well, if I'm not going there, maybe I'm not meant to. So there was a bit of a sense for me of fate, you know, that maybe when we don't get somewhere, maybe we're not meant to, and so maybe we can accept it with a lot of grace. Failure happens all the time. There's success, failure, we gain, we lose. For me, I feel a big shortcut in life to succeed and to excel in any situation is going to be unconventional, what I'm going to say. It's more the coach speaking, but it works for everybody without failure. Almost everybody on this planet has heard of a mythical character called Santa Claus. And for me, the trick is whenever we have the interview, whenever we have the meeting, whenever we have the oral exam, or even the written exam, but especially when we're face to face, is can we pretend that we are Santa Claus? Can we prepare our minds to feel as if we are Santa Claus? We are coming into the room and maybe we're a little different. And maybe we don't look like they're used to. We look a little odd, we're Santa Claus. And yet we know that we are full of gifts. All we bring is gifts. And maybe they won't see it right away. Maybe they will see our beard and our size and they will think we're a little odd and we have this red jacket. But if we can remember who we are Santa Claus, we are loved by many, and we bring the gifts to the table.
So my name is Henry Sohn, and I've been in the technology field now for, I guess, about almost 20 years. I had a sociology degree, so it was not a technical degree actually. But I've always sort of been a computer geek on the side. You know, I think similar to a lot of kind of guys my age, we got started with computers back in the old Apple II days and, you know, Radio Shack TRS-80 days, that kind of thing. So my first computer was an Apple II. I kind of got my lucky break, really, where a friend of mine who was at Berkeley with me, she had found out about this internship at Apple Computer. That was a year-long internship. It was something that you had to withdraw from school for a year to participate in, and it's a paid internship. And unfortunately, she didn't get the internship, but I did. But it turned out to be a real game changer for me, because it really opened my eyes up to the idea that, wow, you know, I don't have a technical degree, I'm not an engineer, and yet I can still actually work in the technology field. And so that was kind of something I never really thought was possible at the time. I just kind of assumed, well, if I'm not an engineer or a business person, then it wouldn't work. But that wasn't the case at all. So I think the thing to remember is, you know, once you get in that door, you know, you really want to spend your time to get to know people and to really start establishing relationships and getting to know people and picking up, you know, not only the knowledge you need to do the job you're doing, but also to pick up those relationships and to really kind of get mentors really from all over. And really, especially here in Silicon Valley, really a lot of it is about relationships. And you know, once you start, even in your first job, you know, establishing those relationships, those are the people that you rely on for the next gig. You know. So I was an early employee at Yahoo. So after a number of years at different companies, after Apple, I spent time at Intuit. I was at a small startup called Berkeley Systems, and I was also at I went to Compaq Computer and then ultimately to Yahoo. And I was at Yahoo pretty early. So I think one of the most important skills that you can learn is a skill of teamwork and collaboration, because you know, when you do enter into the corporate world, you know, the corporate environment, it is all about teamwork. And one of the most valuable things that managers look for, that leaders look for in companies, is, you know, can this person work well in teams? And by working well in teams, it doesn't simply mean, you know, can they get along with other people? I mean, certainly that's a part of it too. But it's also about, do they know how to be dependable and also be dependent on, and depend on others. And it also involves being able to communicate well in teams. You know, giving other people room to be able to speak their concerns or to talk about their perspective. Being able to take that perspective in, process that, and to be able to share, iterate on that, and share off that. And that is a collaborative process. That history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And if you look at technology, that really is true. There really are not that many new ideas under the sun. You know, all the new technologies that you see today, things like Google Maps, Facebook, Twitter, all the latest kind of mobile technology you see, they're not really new ideas. You know, the inventor of the radio had the initial idea around cell phones back when the radio was first known, and television. For sure, every successful idea does require you to fail, because really, that's the only way you're going to learn. The most important lessons you learn are going to be the ones that you learn through failure, that come with a little bit of pain. And but those things, if you can learn from that, it's going to create the best value for you.